This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, time to get on Terence Crawford again, and keeps the foot on the what? On the necks, and keeps the foot on the what? On the necks, and like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I apply what? Unlimited pressure, because pressure does what? It bursts pipes, folks. It's time to burst the damn pipes, man. Hear me, and hear me. Well, listen. Terence Crawford is not telling Hino's Sport something that he doesn't already know. I told you guys I'm on the thumb and the needle of every damn situation. So the truth of the fact of the matter is, Terence Crawford didn't understand his B-side position. Errol the True Spence keeps mentally whipping him with alpha economics. Errol the True Spence is a true alpha. So Terence Crawford telling all that he said, you know what I'm saying, and Bob Arum saying all that they said. You know what I'm saying? And shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV, because, you know, that's a good brother right there. That's a deep brother. You know what I'm saying? I respect him. He's one of the few brothers in the boxing YouTube world that doesn't get caught up in all the hoopla. He just delivers the video based on the way that, you know what I'm saying, it's been rendered unto him. He's not really ingratiating opinions so much so. I mean, he has his own opinion, but he's not really big on that kind of stuff. Not big on personality, just more so just delivering the news. So it's a breath of fresh air, and when I want to get out of my head, I listen to him. So salutes to him for that. And I agree with everything for the most part of what he said. But here's the thing. He knows the sport is always going to give you his take, because I am a personality. So I'm going to give you my take on the situation. So rehear me and rehear me. Well, listen. Terence Crawford is not telling he knows the sport anything that he knows the sport than already knew. I already understand boxing, because I tell you guys, it's a three-pronged monster. It's economics, then politics, then pugilism. I'm a 38-year-old man. It's not my first rodeo. For the Rudy Poo and the Plum Plum Brains, the ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, the classic dolts and the troglodytes. Now, if you are too brain full of mush and brainwash of a dodo head for you to not understand the dynamics of boxing, that's on you. But you have to understand how it works. In B-side equation, you were going to wait, whether you wanted to admit it or not. Errol the True Spence has to clean his side of the streets up. This is what Blue Blood was confirming. That Errol the True Spence is basically going to clean his side of the streets up when he mentioned, you know what I'm saying, if Errol the True Spence gets the Pacquiao fight, it would be nice. That would be great for him. Because that's how it's going to happen. Like I told everybody, Pacquiao has to be before Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And the prediction king strikes again. And the prediction king strikes again. I told you guys this stuff, man. I don't know how many times he knows the sport has to show you that he's Sun Tzu, a.k.a. Art of War, 7 steps ahead of the game. This is why I'm 48 Laws of Power. The new variation of 48 Laws of Power. Making super chess match moves, man. A grandmaster thereof. Because I'm always telling you guys things that are consistent and authentic as fuck. There's a consistency and authenticity that is highlighted and showcased with He Knows the Sport. And you guys keep seeing this from the jump. I always keep that same energy, dog. Let me say it again. I always keep that same energy. I told you guys. Terence Crawford had to clean his side of the street up. He's not doing that. That's the problem. That's the fundamental issue. He's still my second favorite welterweight. The problem is he's not living up to being the second favorite welterweight, because he doesn't want to do no heavyweight lifting. He doesn't want to basically get out of the bed and actually brush his teeth. When I use the term brush his teeth, it's figurative speech for heavyweight lifting. He does not want to brush his teeth. This means including flossing. You don't just brush your teeth, you got to floss too. It's a two-headed monster. Mouthwash is not really that important. As long as you floss and brush your teeth, you're good to go. So this is the problem with Terence Crawford. He does not want to brush his teeth and floss, i.e. do heavyweight lifting, meaning Shawn Porter. He's available. Kenny Porter just came out and made a rant video about why him and Shawn Porter have been ready, willing, and waiting. They sent out their proposal for a contract for a proposed fight between Shawn Porter and Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford team is not interested. You heard what Terence Crawford said. He gave a blatant duck response. Matter of fact, he gave two variations of it. The first one was, we're not interested in that fight. Please don't mention that name. When another grown-ass man says please to another grown-ass man, it's a duck. If it quacks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it is a duck. Let me say it again. When a grown-ass man says please in the variation and the vernacular, there's nothing wrong with saying please to people. But in the variation and in the context of the vernacular in which he said it and how he unctioned the terminology, don't mention that name. And when he said, we're not interested in the fight, and please, it's like a begging. It's like a beggar's response to a situation. This is what happened. Terence Crawford does not want that Shawn Porter free smoke. And you guys have to be real with yourselves and use what we call the true boxing eye test. He does not want to be positioned and pushed. Now, like I said, I agree with mostly everything. I would say I agree with 99% of what Blue Blood said. Here's the 1% common denominator of disagreement that we have. It's the triangle theory. Everyone has this mindset in boxing that triangle theories does not work. I don't fall in the same mold of that. To me, triangle theories have times and circumstances where they do work and times and circumstances where they don't work. Here's an example where it works. Shawn Porter. You know why it works? Because Shawn Porter gives every fighter the same thing. It's a hard fight. You know you're not going to outbox him. So in the triangle theory, it is validated. It is certified because of the type of fighter that Shawn Porter is. His pride is not going to let you outbox him. Shawn Porter will be damned if you do that in a fight against him. So this is where the triangle theory works, because Shawn Porter is the gauging point. And this is where me and Blue Blood agrees, the gauging point aspect. He is the gauging point, and he is the litmus test. See, not just gauging point, as Blue said, you also have to add he knows the sports litmus test along with it. Because now you fight this guy who's a gatekeeper, a certified gatekeeper, that is. Now we know where you're at as a true welterweight. When you fight a lame duck Jeff Horn, that does not show us where you're at. When you fight a one-legged gimp Jose Benavidez, that does not show us where you're at. When you fight a 5-year past his prime Amir Khan, it doesn't show us where you're at. When you fight a green mean machine, or however you want to say it, whatever iteration or variation thereof, green bean machine, everybody wants to sit here and say, oh, he was his mandatory. Yeah, it's convenient to hide behind that cocoon of saying someone is someone's mandatory when that wasn't even the highest fight on the priority list. Oh, yes. Terence Crawford and them was trying to negotiate Danny Garcia before Mean Green Machine or Green Bean Machine. People don't want to talk about that. But you know why that fight fell to the wayside? It fell to the wayside because Terence Crawford and them was trying to lowball Danny Garcia. They were trying to offer him Green Bean or Green Mean Machine via Bob Arum $3 million. Danny Garcia at minimum should be $7 million fight because of his marketability and his sellability. He's Cherry Garcia to me, but he can sell a damn fight. So pay the man what he's worth. They didn't want that. So they ducked that fight via lowballing. That's how that fight was ducked. It was ducked through economics. See, you can duck fights so many ways in boxing. You can duck them either through economics, you can duck it either through politics, and you could duck it through what we call pugilism. That fight was ducked through economics. The Kell Brook situation, that was a politic duck because of the fact that they understood that Kell Brook was the previous litmus test because of the fact that Errol Spence had to go into super unlimited pressure to make Kell Brook get bended on one damn knee. So because of that, they didn't want Terence Crawford to have to go through that. Because let's keep it real, Kell Brook is a big-ass guy. He would be big, and he would pose problems because he can box, and he's durable. It's not like he's going to fall. He's going to wilter. So Terence Crawford would be tested in so many variations, so many facets, and so many fashions. They don't want that. See, you got to understand what Top Rank is doing. They do what they always do. It's called Top Rank lazy promotional scheme. This is why they run trilogies, you know what I'm saying, quadruple fights, quintuple fights of the same type of fights. Because they don't want their marquee fighters to have to be tested, man, against real fighters until they're making big money. This is how Bob Arum works. This is what he's doing with Terence Crawford. So you guys have to see the truth of the fact of the matter behind this. This is why that politic duck of Kell Brook took place the way it did. Now we talk about the pugilistic duck, Shawn Porter. My buddy and me. My buddy and me. Number 3 for the number of confirmation. My buddy and me. he didn't want to fight Shawn Porter. First of all, he hid behind the excuse of my buddy and me. And then after that, he hid behind the fact that not only was it my buddy and me situation, it was a situation of he's going to get ducked because of the fact that it's a financial situation. So that's what it was. He did not want to get tested. And I can understand that. But what people have to understand is this fight right here is a gauging point. It's a litmus test because when you fight a guy like Shawn Porter, you know where you're at as a welterweight. That's why people need to see this fight. So Terence Crawford was always going to wait on Errol the True Spence because the Errol the True Spence fight was a fight that was never going to happen because, like I said, if it's not happening for all the marbles, why should that fight even take place? Does it even make sense? See what I'm saying? If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.